This video is brought to you by America First Insight. Help support the growing conservative movement by becoming a member today. And if you want to support this channel, you can also use the code REAL when becoming a member. Thank you and enjoy the video. Well, as everyone probably knows, there has been a growing divide on the right in the last couple of months. I don't think it's really unfair to say that. I think most people would agree that, yeah, ever since Trump took office last January and really the last year or so, there has been a big divide on the right on a bunch of issues, such as the Epstein files, the war in Iran, Trump's handling of immigration, critical issues. Let's be clear. I do think there are some valid criticisms of this administration to a certain extent. But at the same time, there has been some absolutely wild stuff going around. It's been crazy, delusional, out of touch. It is absolutely wild what's going on here, and it's somehow getting worse. And really, I think this statement Trump put out a couple days ago, which I think most of you have seen by now, but for those that haven't, he put out this statement a couple days ago where he directly called out a bunch of these influencers, people like Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, Alex Jones, etc. As you probably guessed by now, this caused a shitstorm. Everybody's talking about it. A lot of people are dooming. A lot of people are celebrating this. It is a mess. Everybody's fighting each other. Everyone's saying it's over for Trump. This is the final straw because he said something mean about Tucker and Alex Jones. Seriously, we're doing this again. And I know we talked about this for a couple days now, but the aftermath and the response of it has been so just crazy. Like, you can't make up some of the stuff that some people are claiming. And what's wild about it is people are making it sound like that Trump did this for no reason. And all four of these people, they were backing Trump this entire time. They loved Trump a week ago. But out of nowhere, Trump attacked them for no reason because reasons. No, that's not what happened. You may disagree with what Trump is saying here. I get why some people might not be happy about this. But really, this is only a response to what all four of them have been saying, not just for a day or two now, for months at this point. Do I have to explain what Candace Owens has been saying? Everybody knows it. She's saying wild stuff, has been saying crazy stuff for a year now, or almost a year now, about Kirk, about how Trump is involved, the Freemasons, the Matrix. It is crazy. It's delusional. It's hysteria. But not just her. Look at Tucker Carlson. Not even a week ago, a couple days ago, he was insinuating that President Trump was the Antichrist. I'm not even joking. He was making a big deal that President Trump did not put his hand on the Bible during his oath of office. Which, again, this is a resist liberal talking point from a year ago. Democrats and resist liberals, they were saying the same thing a year ago, making a big deal about, oh, Trump did not put his hand on the Bible. He's the Antichrist. That's proof of it. No. Roberts, like usual, screwed it up. That's like the third time he's messed it up. And there's no requirement to take the oath of office with a Bible. There is none. Thomas Jefferson did it. A few other presidents did it also. John Quincy Adams, I think, swore in on the Constitution. So, who cares? Roberts screwed it up, and even then, Trump did not have to be sworn in with the Bible. It's not a requirement. I don't get what he's talking about, but yeah, he's a legend. He's the Antichrist. Alex Jones, a week ago, not even, had Robert Barnes on, and they said they have to coup Trump out of office. They need an internal coup using the 25th Amendment. Yeah, I wonder why Trump is attacking them now. Gee, I wonder why. Do they just think Trump was not going to respond? At some point, when you're a legend, he has dementia. We're saying he should be thrown out of office, like through the 25th Amendment. There should be a coup in the White House. He is the Antichrist. All this other crazy stuff. What do you think's going to happen? What do you think Trump is not going to respond, or he shouldn't? Seriously? We're talking about Trump after all. He has said crazy stuff in the past about, really, compared to this, nothing. No, somebody doesn't say anything, and Trump attacks them. He makes fun of them for some reason. What do you think was going to happen? At some point, you can attack Trump for so long before he says this. It is insane. But somehow the response to what Trump said has been met with more hysteria, more nonsense, more schizophrenia, like this. Look at this. Now we have people like Rich Bears. Again, we've been making a bunch of videos on this because Rich Bears and Robert Barnes, they've been trying to convince people that 2026 will not only just be a blue wave, which I could see happening. Yeah, I could see 26 being a blue wave. Democrats get a House majority, probably flip a couple Senate seats. Yeah, I think it's a reasonable prediction. That's one thing. But they've been saying it's going to be the biggest blue tsunami in history, bigger than 2006, bigger than 2008, which are big blue waves. Democrats get a big majority in not just the House, but in the Senate, and crazy stuff like that. They've been going on and on about it for months now. They've lost it. They've lost all semblance of reality. But somehow, after the statement by President Trump, things got even worse. Look at this. At Real Alex Jones, your reputation is incredible. I won't let you down. Trump to Alex Jones before anyone took him seriously enough to have him on their show, and he was pulling at 2%. Yeah, this is a real quote from, I think, December of 2015. That's when Trump went on Alex Jones's show. I think it was like December 2nd, 2015, or whatever it was. Point is, yes, Trump went on his show in 2015, and he did say something like this. But notice what Bears added at the end. He did not just quote Trump, which is one thing, like, fine, whatever. He just said or insinuated that before Trump went to his show, nobody took him seriously. He was seen as a laughing stock. Nobody thought he was going to win. And apparently, he was only polling at 2% in the primary. Now, of course, he's referring to the primary. But at this point, he might be talking about the general. He might be saying, yeah, he was at 2% in the general before this happened. So basically, he's claiming the only reason Trump even won the nomination in 2016 was all because of influencers like Alex Jones. That's what he's insinuating here. Are you fucking nuts? Did you really just say that? Now, if he would have said, hey, Alex Jones helped Trump in 2015 and 2016, I actually would agree. I do think to a certain extent, yes, people like Alex Jones, they did help Trump. But to basically imply that Trump was dead on arrival and that he had no pathway to victory and he was single-handedly carried by Alex Jones and other people, you're nuts. But really, at this point, this kind of confirms that all these people are just delusional. They really think that Trump won, not because of 1,000 different things, not because Trump did something. No, it's because they themselves magically orchestrated Trump's victory. And Trump himself, he had nothing to do with it. How does one even respond to this? This is just so out there, so out of touch, delusional. I can't believe somebody actually said this. Somebody like Barris, that a lot of people still look to for information. Well, guess what? It takes not even 5 seconds to realize he is full of it. For starters, no. When Trump went at Alex Jones's show in December 2015, he was not polling at 2%. In fact, in the early December 2nd, right here, Trump was at 28%, up by 9 over Ben Carson. This is right when Ben Carson started to go down the polling. But either way, at this point, Trump was clearly the front runner, and at this point has been for months. I don't know how anyone could say, yeah, Trump at this point was at 2%. No, he was nearly cracking 30% when everybody else was lucky to crack 5%. Jeb Bush was at 5% at this point. Ben Carson 20, Rubio 12, Cruz 12. He was clearly in first place. Even back in July, he was in first place. Even in parts of June, he was already picking up momentum. Right after he announced, he began to pick up steam. I just cannot believe that somebody like this can actually claim that, yeah, before this, Trump was at 2%. No. Before he announced, yes, there was like 1 or 2 polls that had him at 2% or 1%. Even then, if you go back to July of 2015, actually June of 2015, yeah, there were a couple. There were two right before he announced that yes, he was at 1 and 2%. Outside of that, though, other ones had him at 4 or 5%. I, I don't get what he's talking about. Trump was clearly the front runner even after he announced after the first month. He took first place by the middle of July. He was up by 3 over probably Jeb Bush. So how can you say he was at 2%? He was at 30% the time the interview happened. I'm just stunned here. But somehow it's made even worse because he is basically claiming that before this interview happened, no outlet took him seriously. Nobody had him on their show, no major interviews. He was by himself, doing whatever. Guys, if you look at this for even an additional minute, you'll realize this is somehow an even worse take because at least you can try to spin this as, well, he was implying that when he announced he was at 2% and Alex Jones helped them, whatever. But he is claiming that no other show, no other outlet, nobody had him on for any interview. Well, guess what? He completely made this up. Now, a quick reminder that the interview happened on December 2nd or whatever. Okay, it was December 1st, December 2nd, somewhere in that range. Well, guess what? Back in 2015, before October 1st, not December 1st, not January 2016, no, before even October 1st, a couple months before the interview, let's take a look at some of the interviews Trump had and who they were with. June 16th, the day of the announcement, a couple hours after he announced, he was on the O'Reilly Factor on Fox News. June 17th, he was on Hannity. June 28th, State of the Union. July 8th, NBC News. July 19th, he wrote an op-ed in USA Today. July 22nd, Anderson Cooper. July 24th, Morning Joe and MSNBC. August 7th, CNN. August 17th, NBC News, etc., etc. Basically, every weekend, he did another interview. Every time, it was somewhere different. And we're not talking about some random outlets that got 5 people watching. These were mostly primetime interviews on channels like NBC News, CNN, Fox News. So you're telling me that before December 2nd, Trump had no major interviews, nothing. Nobody cared. He wasn't taken seriously. What are you talking about? This is basic information. Like, I'm just confused. How do you come up with this conclusion that, yeah, before this interview happened, nobody had him on ever? He was on every day. Like, every channel was talking about Trump 24/7. He was doing interviews left and right. And this is before October 1st. He did even more in October, November, etc. And oh, by the way, forgot to mention one tiny detail. By the time this interview, there were 4 presidential debates in 2016. There were 4, not one, not some random debate with 5 people watching. These were the major debates everybody watched. These broke all the records. Millions of people watched. So you're telling me that before December 2nd, none of these were major interviews or major events that nobody cared about? Nobody cared? What do you, like, what? It's utter insanity that this was actually said. Guys, this is complete bullshit. There's no other way to put it. He lied. I don't even think he made a mistake here. I think he just lied about it now. He knows he's wrong. He knows he's full of shit, but he's lying about it. This is absurd. And the reason I talk about it is because people believe it. They're trying to take credit for Trump's victory. No, you did not single-handedly make Trump. That is absurd. Did you help him? Sure, you could say that. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, maybe he did help Trump a good bit, I guess. But to basically claim that and allege that he is the big reason that he won? No. That is insane to even think about. But that's what's going on right now. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, and of course, join the channel today. Godspeed to all of you.